That's, and I really worked on feeling really good, really positively about this boy. And then I sat down with him and I said, look, I'd really love to have you in the class. I think you could really be a really strong contributing member of the class. You can, I know you can do it, right? But I need you to be on board. And his reaction to that was very different than his reaction to the other times that I spoke to him. What had changed? I changed.
Yes, this is the way we have.
I changed.
Yes.
Right? And then, kamayim panim el panim. Then there is a reflection. Right? The face is reflected in the water. You smile, you see a smile. You scowl, you see a scowl. Right? So whether Yaakov, again, there are different approaches. Right? Rashi himself said in the very beginning that he said, I haven't received the bracha. Right? All these things that I have, I've got shore, I've got oxen, I've got donkeys. This is not the dew of the heaven, it's not the fat of the earth. Right? So it's as if he's saying, right, the bracha hasn't come about. Right? So there are those that say, right, there are those that take even further. Right? With all the pain that was caused by this, take the bracha. Others, I mean, for me personally, I have a little bit of difficulty accepting that Yaakov followed the nevuah, the prophecy of his mother, and put himself through this whole ordeal, right, to get the bracha, and then he says, you know what? You can have it. Right? What I think he might have been saying is, the bracha manifests itself in ways that we don't necessarily see, don't necessarily understand, and it doesn't need to affect us. There's nothing tangible that you can see that, oh, I got the bracha, right? There's nothing tangible you can see that, look what I got, right? And any olam hazeh, any bounty that I do have, it's all yours. It's all yours. You can keep it.
And so it doesn't take away from him the bracha.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't take away from...
Correct. And Esav accepts that. What happens? Right? Esav calls him my brother, we saw a few moments ago. Right? Achi, my brother, you can have what's yours. Yaakov insists. Esav takes it. Esav wants to travel together. Pasuk 12 on page 179. And he said, travel on and let us go. I'll proceed alongside you. Yaakov is a bit concerned about this.
He might change his attitude.
Right? He might change his attitude further on. And also, Yaakov wants to bring his children up a certain way. And Esav has a different way. So he wants to also be able to have a certain amount of distance. And he says to him, 13, right, my Lord knows the children are tender, nursing flocks. If they'll be driven hard for a single day, they will die. You go ahead. I'll go at my own slow pace. Ad asher avo el Adoni Seira. Until I'll meet up with you in Seir. Right? Esav said, "I'll stay. Let me station some men with you." And he said, "No need." Esav went to Seir. Did Yaakov go to Seir?
No.
He did not.
But where was he heading?
Heading back home.
Which is where?
Haran.
But
Yeah.
Esav never left Haran.
Esav's been traveling about in 20 years. Esav wasn't, it's been 20 years. So Esav's been up and about.
It says Sukkot. He went to Sukkot. Where is
On the way, right? And then he continued on, right? And then, right, still all on the way, but he's on his way back home. Right? Right, he goes back to Beth El, the end of the Parsha, where you have the whole thing with Dinah. Right?
Is Dinah mentioned in this encounter, though, in the Chumash itself?
The birth of Dinah is mentioned, and then the
was
violation.
No, that she was hidden from Esav.
No, that's
That's
yeah.
made a big deal about why that happened to her with
Right.
Shechem.
You know, it's interesting. Just turn to page 192 for a moment. Right? Yitzchak dies. Yaakov is back now. Right? Comes back. Yitzchak dies. V'yasef el amav, he's gathered to his people. Zakein, old, filled in his Svayamim. V'ikbru oto, and he's buried by who? Esav and Yaakov. And actually, who does it place first? Right? It places Esav in front of Yaakov. So there seems to have been this
reversal.
Yes, a reversal, but certainly this brotherhood. But what's interesting is, Yaakov said, I'll see you in Seir. Yeah. Back on 178, the English might say that.
It does say that.
Yeah. Yeah, we have it on 14 there. In English, Jacob had no intention of going as far as Seir. Indeed, he did not go there. He merely wanted Esau to think that he would, so that in case Esau planned to attack him later, he'd be waiting for an encounter that would never take place. It is axiomatic that Jacob was opinion of truth, would never utter a blatant falsehood. If so, he must have intended to go to Seir at some point. The sages explain that Jacob was alluding to the end of days, when, as Obadiah prophesied, Jacob's descendants will come to Mount Seir to render judgment against Esau's descendants. Eventually, they will be there, right? Va'alu Moshim b'har Tzion, l'shpot et har Esav. Eventually, in the Messianic times, we will be there at Seir.
Where is that Seir? Where is it?
Where is Seir? Some Chumashim have a map in the back of all these places and where they are, right, related to where we are today. I'm not sure exactly where Seir is. It's interesting that Seir, right, is related to the word Seyar. What does Seyar mean? Hair.
What?
Hair. What was Esav?
Hairy.
He was very hairy, right? And also the Vilna Gaon says that Seyar, hair, represents that which is unnecessary. Unnecessary, right? Right? You can get along without it, right? Seir often refers to what he calls the motarot, the things that are extra in life that are unnecessary. And Esav was a nation that focuses on the unnecessary, on the added things, right? Interesting. Exactly where Seir is, I'm not sure. Okay, my friends, we will call it over here. Good to see everybody. Okay, and Shavua Tov.
So is the restroom available or not?
I believe they are. I believe they are.
Nice.
Yeah. As of this morning, there was water that was running. Yeah, it should be fine.
Thank you. It was a gift, and I haven't taken it off since I got it.
Fine.
Recently,
Yeah.
Because yeah.
Want to sit?
Yeah. When can I buy something like that? It's so good.
Dove, will you?
I have the shop over here, so I don't know. No idea.